Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to make sense of what corporations are really up to. And today we are diving into LENSAR Incorporated's fresh 8K filing. Prepare yourselves because this one might just have some important news you need to know about their upcoming meeting. And oh yeah, a potential merger that could change everything. Before we jump into the nitty-gritty, if you like getting clear, straightforward insights from these sometimes complicated corporate documents, please consider subscribing. Also, we have a fantastic Discord community linked in the description below where we break down these reports and more together. So what exactly is this 8K form? Alright, think of it as a current report. It is filed when a company needs to announce major events that shareholders absolutely must know about something that could really shake things up. Today's report from LENSAR Incorporated, filed on the 21st of October of 2025, is all about scheduling their annual meeting of stockholders and what happens if a very big deal goes through or doesn't. First off, the basics. LENSAR Incorporated, or LNSR as you might see it, traded on the Nasdaq, is in the business of medical devices and technology primarily for eye surgery. They are headquartered in Orlando, Florida. It is also worth noting they are listed as an emerging growth company, which basically means they are a bit smaller and have some regulatory flexibility. Now let's get to the main event. LENSAR Inc. announced that their 2025 yearly meeting for all the stock owners is set for the 18th of December of 2025. This meeting will be held online, so you can attend from anywhere as long as you are a stockholder on record by the 24th of October. They'll send out more details on how exactly to join in their official proxy statement. But here is where things get really interesting. This entire meeting is kind of a backup plan. It will only happen if a proposed merger with Alken Research LLC does not get completed before that December meeting. If the merger goes through, LENSAR will become entirely owned by Alken, and while there won't be a separate LENSAR stockholder meeting anymore, any director ideas or proposals from stockholders would then be irrelevant. It's a bit like planning a birthday party, but only if your big unexpected vacation doesn't happen. Because their annual meeting is happening more than 30 days after the anniversary of last year's meeting, which was in 2024, LENSAR is giving everyone a heads up on new deadlines for suggesting proposals or nominating directors. If you want your proposal to be considered for inclusion in the company's official meeting materials, you need to get it to them by the 31st of October. This new deadline also applies to any stockholder nominations for the board of directors. They are making it clear that stockholders need to follow specific rules outlined in Rule 14 and Negative 8 of the Exchange Act and the company's own bylaws, meaning you can't just show up with an idea on the day itself. And to make things even more complex, they're pointing out special rules for those who want to rally support for their own board candidates. If you plan to ask other shareholders to vote for your nominees, you have to follow a specific notice requirement by Rule 14 and Negative 19 of the Exchange Act, and that deadline is also the 31st of October. It is a complex dance of deadlines and rules designed to ensure the company knows who is proposing what and when well, in advance, especially with that potential merger hanging in the air. Now, every company filing like this will have a section on forward-looking statements. This is basically a big disclaimer saying that anything said in the report about the future might not actually happen. They're talking about the merger here specifically. They tell us that the merger might not happen on time or at all. There are also risks around getting the necessary approvals for the deal. They mention the possibility of other companies making competing offers, and that if the merger doesn't go through, their stock price could really take a hit. It is all about managing expectations and covering themselves legally. This report is signed by Nicholas T. Curtis, the Chief Executive Officer of LENSAR Incorporated, on the 21st of October of 2025, confirming the information presented here. Now let's put on our investor hats and think about what this actually means. The most critical piece of information here is the uncertainty surrounding the proposed merger with Alken. The existence of the annual meeting is contingent on this deal not closing. This tells us that the company is operating with a significant question mark over its future structure. If the merger goes through, LENSAR as an independent entity essentially ceases to exist. If it doesn't, then they need to be ready to run their normal annual meeting with all that entails, including stockholder proposals and director elections. The deadlines for proposals and nominations are also very important. By setting these specific dates, which are essentially looming, they are trying to create clarity for all parties involved: shareholders, management, and potential acquirers. It forces a decision point, or at least a clear timeline leading up to the potential merger closing date. From a strategic perspective, LENSAR is laying out a dual path forward, and this 8K is their way of communicating that to the market. They are preparing for a scenario where they remain independent and continue with their regular corporate governance, and a scenario where they are acquired. This shows prudence in their planning. The risk factors listed in the report highlight the many things that could derail the merger, which from a bullish perspective could mean opportunity if the merger fails and LENSAR continues to grow on its own. However, if the merger is the desired outcome, delays or failures could create significant disruption and financial strain as indicated by the potential stock price decline. Ultimately, LENSAR is in a holding pattern dictated by the unfolding merger. While their core business and long-term prospects rely on innovation in eye surgery, the immediate future is heavily weighted on the completion of this transaction. If the deal falls apart, investors will be looking closely at how LENSAR plans to move forward independently and whether they can deliver on their promises without the backing of a larger entity like Alcon. Alright, that is our breakdown of LENSAR Incorporated's latest filing. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Do you think the merger will go through, or will LENSAR continue on its own? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps us out, and subscribe for more straightforward corporate insights. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description where we have more in-depth discussions. Thanks for watching. See you next time.